In this video, I'm going to run through the basic functions of the Apple CarPlay on the Carpuride 702B Pro. Run through it on the screen. I've got the Carpuride hooked up to my CPAP battery, which is set at 12 volts because that's what it needs. And we'll just go through the various screens quickly, and I'll mention a few things that I've discovered with this unit. I've also formatted the SD card with FAT32 format, and I've put a few files on there, and you can see the results. The manual that comes with this thing is not very good, and it doesn't tell you a damn thing about, the operation of the SD card function. I do know that if you have to update the firmware, then you need to use the SD card. The SD card itself is a pain in the butt to get at because you've got to unscrew two little screws and take the little door off, get the SD card out, and then put it into your computer and transfer whatever files you need to put onto the SD card. So far, I've only had success in getting JPEGs to work. Movie files I can't seem to get to output any audio or video actually, and music files, WMA files, or MP3 files. They produce no audio even though they're playing. So I don't know what's going on. If you know what's going on later on in the video, leave me a comment below. But I'm gonna go through, like I said, a few of the features of the Carpuride Apple CarPlay function, and I'm gonna actually have the audio output coming out of my iPhone because I don't have my helmet with me, and but it's the same thing. It's outputting to whatever device is active, Bluetooth device is active. Right. So what you're looking at right now is the basic Apple CarPlay screen. And these are the various apps that I have installed on my phone and reflected onto the Apple CarPlay screen. I've just come back from a road trip, and this thing has been pretty darn good and pretty invaluable. I use the Sirius XM quite a lot. I've used the phone. I've used music. I've used the Apple Maps and the Google Maps. I've even listened to the news, and I've gotten text messages. Essentially, Car Home, this icon here, is going to bring you to the home screen of the unit. And the home screen of the unit right now, you'll see it's connected for iPlay. If you had an Android phone, you'd connect the A Auto, and you'll see that reflected up there. The audio output is right now set to iPlay, but you can have it a Bluetooth trans, BT trans, whereby you are using using this to allow intercom use between the two headsets. I don't have a need for that because my headsets are connected, intercom already. So I don't need to have that functionality. So I'm using this only for, Apple CarPlay. The time is in 24-hour format. You can't change that. This icon is to set on this particular unit, there's auto light intensity and this is the button for it here. Right now you can vary the brightness of the thing. And you see, once you do that, then this goes off. But you set that to that, and then it cranks it back down to whatever is needed. And it works pretty well. This button here is to change the wallpapers. So the different wallpapers for the screen. For the different wallpapers for the Carpuride unit screen, there's a different set of wallpapers for the CarPlay. Their volume is set to maximum here, and it actually, when you're using it in the CarPlay mode, it's automatically up to maximum from what I can tell. And this volume button doesn't have any effect. Similarly with the equalizer, it only has effect if you are using it in the BT trans mode. Okay, this here it shows that yes, Wayne iPhone is connected and it's in Apple CarPlay mode and not these other two. Okay, so what happens is this is connected to my iPhone. My iPhone is connected to my Cardo headset. So this is not acting as a hub, but it's a kind of a daisy chain type connection. And it works exactly how I want it to work with that type of connection. The next icon here is this. This here shows elevation above sea level. Hectopascals for pressure and meters. I think you can have, no. I could have sworn I saw feet before, but I guess I was wrong. You see this? It says, please calibrate the compass. And the manual goes through how to calibrate the compass. You do a figure 8 3 to 5 times with this unit held flat, and it'll calibrate. But get this, every time you turn this thing off and turn it back on, it needs to be calibrated again. So I don't know how useful that is. While iPlay is working, you cannot use Bluetooth devices. So you have to disable the Apple CarPlay before you can get Bluetooth devices to work, and then establish the connection to that like that. Establish the connection for music and for phone, and then you should be able to use the phone here to call whoever you need to call. And one of the things about this is that it connects to your phone and it downloads all your contacts, or it's supposed to have downloaded the contacts. So here we are, back to the CarPlay settings, and as you can see, it's connected. The paired list includes my phone, and general settings, language, English, restore factory settings, system version. This is where you need to get the information as to your software status if you're to work with support to get an update to your firmware. Audio output, it's got to be up here. There, CarPlay, and that's off. And the CarPlay icon is there. Sirius XM. So you can hear it's playing through the speakers. So basically you have several different screens. That's main screen. This is the second screen. The dots here show 1, 2, 3, 4 different screens. These are my apps, and you can keep going to the right and see all the apps that I've got. You can change the wallpaper, for example, with the CarPlay, the CarPlay wallpaper by going to the settings here and wallpaper. And you can pick any which one that you want. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't take until you cycle the unit off and on again. That's kind of weird. In other words, if I change this to something, let's say I change this to this brown one, and I say set, right? You would think it's set. But if I go back to the home screen, the CarPlay screen now, it's not set. But if I power this thing off, let's try it. Let's try powering it off from the battery. At least that's what it did last time. When I cycled it off and then powered it back on, then the wallpaper changed. Kind of weird. Okay. This is it first, when you're booting up, it first comes up to the CarPlay and then the wallpaper is changed. So it doesn't change right away. Okay. So let's go back to that again and change it back because I don't like that brown color. Wallpaper. I like this blue color. set, right? Set, and I go back, it's still brown. Let me cycle it off, power it back up again. And we should see the blue screen. Once it goes through the system screen, the Carpuride system screen, and then it'll go into CarPlay. For the phone, you can see the phone here is set to the last few calls that I've done. Music, this is onboard music that I have on my phone. Okay. Apple Maps, there's Maps. Google Maps, there's Google Maps. Waze, there's Waze, and I haven't used Waze much. But I noticed that even though the compass has to be recalibrated every time you switch it on, apparently, it doesn't affect the phone, these apps here. These apps know which way is north, which way is south, east, and west, and it knows how to navigate. So you're not affected. It's just this onboard compass for this Carpuride unit is essentially useless if you've got to, remember to recalibrate it every time. These are messages. This works beautifully with Siri, so no problem there. You can listen to your messages as they come in and dictate replies. This here gives the last, what was playing last. This news app is really good because you can get the news from Apple News read back to you, or various selections there that they offer. You can have that being played into your ear. Like I said, there are 4 screens. This is the main screen. This is the second screen. My third screen has the settings. Now these settings are the Apple settings. So driving focus, announced messages, appearance, wallpaper, appearance, whether it's automatic or always dark. If you like dark mode, you can set it to dark mode. Go back to settings, Siri and suggestions, show album art. So that's pretty good. These arrows work as well. These here are icons, the most recently used apps. Unlike the Carpuride home screen, which is in 24-hour format, that one is in 12-hour format. The clock up there is in 12-hour format. A word about the battery. I have seen, for example, I've been riding long distance, like 500-mile days. By about 12 o'clock, that thing is about 50%. So it kind of drains your battery a bit. You just need to plug in your phone. This is Spotify. I have my Spotify, display here, and all of that is there. Pandora, the same. iHeart, music. I've got all my music up here. Podcasts. I haven't really actually gotten into. Yeah, I've listened to podcasts in the past, and they're actually come back here. Audiobooks. I got to get into that. Audiobooks. Audible. I did use Audible before. Again, I don't spend that much time on the road listening to audiobooks and so on. So as a result, these are underused. Calendar, it shows on a weekly basis, I believe, or maybe it's just a daily basis. I don't think you can change the display as to whether it's a month or it only gives you the day. AAA Texas, and then I've got some other miscellaneous motorcycling apps. And for some reason, I got Teams there. I could knock it out, but just leave it there. We use Teams at the office. So that's essentially it. You've got this nice little screen. It's got the map in the side at the side, and it's got voice commands that you can use or directions. You can hit go, and you can search for gas stations or restaurants or saved places, that kind of thing. Hit this, and you're back to that screen. and you've access to your, to your music. So, so that's it. But let's go back now to this card. I have inserted my 64-bit micro SD card, which has been formatted to FAT32, as they say is required. And I was able to put some data on it. For example, if you look here, you can see you either have music, or you can have video, or you can have photos. Okay? Right now, music is selected, and I've got two different types of music file, WMA file and MP3 file. And if I hit either one of them, you can see it's playing. This thing is moving, but I'm not hearing any output. I'm not hearing any sound. So I don't know why that is, is not outputting the sound. If I hit that, I try with the MP3 again. I don't hear any sound. This button here, this little hamburger menu, shows you all the content on your drive. Video. For video, I've got two different formats, MP4 and I've got MOV. Either one of them I play, it says video format not supported over and over. Look at that. No good. So you try and interrupt that by hitting the screen, and then MOV, video format not supported. MOV comes out from Apple. No good. Photo. The only thing that works on this secure digital card is photo. So you know it's reading the data. There's my bike. So I can put photos on this secure digital card, and you also need to use the secure digital card if you're going to update the firmware on this device, because they will give you, Carpuride will give you a .bin file, and you have to put it into the root folder of this secure digital card and stick it in there, and then cycle power the thing on, and it'll go find a bin file and then update itself. So yeah. I really don't know what's the practical use of this SD card. I have Cardo units, so I don't need to have this Bluetooth and music functionality personally, because my wife doesn't listen to music, but she could if she wanted to. We could be connected via, this unit here, using this as a hub and connecting both to the same music. But then I lose all my Apple CarPlay, because you can't have the BT Trans and the CarPlay working at the same time. So I much prefer to have Apple CarPlay, which is what I got this unit for. So hopefully this was informative for you. And one thing I should say is right now, by default, the Google Maps, for some reason, I don't know if that's controlled by my phone, but whenever I'm in this display, and it shows the maps by default, it's the Google map. It's not even if I select the Apple CarPlay map and then I select that screen, it goes back to the Google map. It doesn't show me the Apple. However, if I am navigating a route somewhere using Apple Maps, it'll show the Apple map in this screen. But if I'm just, not navigating, just having the map there, it'll be the Google map. I think that's it. I think I covered everything here. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, and leave a comment below if anything, if you can tell me what I'm doing wrong, or any answers that I've got to any kind of anomalies that I've highlighted in this video. Leave a comment below, and let me know. Maybe I can get around some of these little problems, especially with the with this SD card here. Yeah, I finally remembered something. With these maps, right away you can see that right in the corner here, there is a plus and a minus. If you hit plus, it would zoom in, right? But it doesn't always accurately work. You see, I'm hitting plus right now and it's doing something else. I don't know what the heck it's doing. And I hit minus and it should go out, but it's just moving to the side, okay? If you hit just to the left of plus and minus, you'll get it to do what you want. At least that's how it was working earlier on today. Just slightly to the left. And I don't know if the screen needs to be calibrated or what, but I have slightly to the left. But this has been another complaint from another YouTuber that the zooming function in or out is bordering on useless on this unit. And I tend to agree. And the reason I think is because the screen needs to be calibrated. As you can see, I can zoom pretty far out now and I can zoom pretty far in. But what I'm doing is I'm touching the edge of these buttons, the plus and the minus. I'm touching the edge. I'm not hitting the actual plus or minus, in other words, the center of the button, but I'm hitting the edge of that, so that area needs to be expanded. The hot zone needs to be expanded for it to work. See? It needs to be expanded. So that's another thing that I wanted to mention before I left. I've since sent a message off to support@carpuride.com to ask them about that, because that is the only thing that I was not able to use when I was traveling with this unit. Everything else worked. There were a couple of instances where the connection between the phone and the unit was dropped. In other words, bang! I would go to this screen. I would go to this screen here, and that icon would be gone. But I am not convinced that it is the fault of the Carpuride unit. I suspect it might be the problem with the Apple iPhone, dropping the CarPlay connection. I've got another issue with this, because even if you were to forget the Carpuride unit, sometimes when I switch my phone off, I'm not even using the Carpuride unit, let's say, and I switch my phone on and I switch my Cardo headset on, there is no connection. And I have to cycle the Bluetooth. Turn the Bluetooth on, turn the Bluetooth off, and then turn it back on, and then it'll output the sound from SiriusXM or whatever it is into my headset. So the radio on this iPhone 13 Pro might be a little flaky. And I think that could be affecting, because occasionally and without any warning, it would drop the connection from the CarPlay. I'd be listening to whatever, looking at my display like this, for example, and then it will go all the way, poof, it'll go into this, and that'll go away. And then it'll reconnect, and then I'll be back to the screen. So something flaky is going on, and I'm not 100% sure that I can blame the Carpuride unit. So I'm not going to say that that's an issue, okay? Because I've had hours and hours of writing, believe you me, with this Carpuride unit performing perfectly. So anyway, that was the zooming thing and that drop connection. Those are the two last things that I wanted to mention while I had this up on the screen. So that's it for now. Consider subscribing, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.